the Wall Street Journal has released this bombshell report on Nord Stream pipeline. As you'll recall, what is it, 2 years ago now? Nord Stream was blown up. This is actually, it sounds like one pipeline. It's actually four pipelines. Nord Stream 1 is two pipelines. Nord Stream 2 is two pipelines. And three of the four were blown up about 2 years ago. And I did a lot of reporting, as did many others in the independent media arena, about how it was clearly the United States. Like, it's like laughably the United States. Seymour Hersh came out with a great piece on how the Navy team that did it, etc. Very details of how they did it. It's a very complicated procedure to bomb these three pipelines because they're 100 feet or more below the surface of the sea. And on top of that, it, of course, is not just a pipeline sitting there that you could just, I just swam down, stuck my knife into it, and that's all you had to do to create a leak. No, these things are encased in incredibly thick concrete, probably buried as well, but there's a lot to it to try and to take out these pipelines in that way. It's not done by just some dude. Hey, I thought I'd go out and see if I could blow up some pipelines. So the Wall Street Journal, they've done all the investigations. They've done all the U.S. and Germany and the EU have been really looking in to what happened to those pipelines. And of course, you guys remember that these are the pipelines that connect Russia to Germany, but through Germany, the oil would have gone to the rest of Europe. So really, it's Russia to Germany and Europe. And major pipeline. Also, what would this do? Harm the petrodollar. You think that plays any role? No, I've never even heard of the petro. What is it? What? I don't understand these. Here's the Wall Street Journal saying we finally found out what has happened. And their title is A Drunken Evening, a Rented Yacht, the Real Story of the Nord Stream Pipeline Sabotage. And already my bullshit alarm is flashing red. Oh, it was just a drunken evening that resulted in the largest event of industrial sabotage, that has ever occurred. The largest methane release that has ever occurred in the world, destroying a multi-billion-dollar project. It's just a drunk guy was like, yeah, I'm gonna go blow up that pipeline. By the way, that's how they talk in Ukraine. I don't know if you knew that. I'm just gonna go blow up that pipeline. I don't like it. I don't like it one bit. I'll tell you what. I don't like it. That's how they talk in Ukraine. But the subheading says private businessmen funded the shoestring operation, which was overseen by a top Ukrainian general. President Zelensky approved the plan, then tried unsuccessfully to call it off. Boy, doesn't this sound like it's admitting a little bit. This is kind of the definition of a limited hangout. It's admitting a little bit while also trying to give cover to just about everyone. It wasn't the United States. Zelensky tried to call it off. He just couldn't get it to stop. Later in the article, they said CIA tried to stop it, but they couldn't get it to stop. Oh, poor guys. They tried so hard to stop it from happening. It also, in case you forget, it was just a giant step towards nuclear war. We're lucky, very lucky, that the Russians at that point behaved like the adults in the room and decided not to go into nuclear war over the largest attack from the U.S. on Russia's infrastructure in years and years and years. I can't read the Wall Street Journal article because I'm not going to subscribe and pay them a goddamn dollar. But here is a little summary of it. He says, so the official version of the Nord Stream bombing, as the Washington Post article says, is that Zelensky himself ordered Valery Zaluzny, former commander-in-chief of the armed forces of Ukraine, to carry out the bombing, and that the CIA tried to stop them, but the Ukrainians went ahead and did it anyway. Why I oughta? That's what the CIA was saying. Why I oughta? Use guys, use scallywags. So already it's just like so amazing. Already you have like 5 separate points that are just utter bullshit. Like the idea that Zelensky tried to stop it, the idea and couldn't and did not have the power to get these people to stop it, the idea that the CIA, which knows everything that's going on in Ukraine, not just because they're spying on them, but also because they are basically running Ukraine. I mean, the U.S. and CIA, etc. The CIA has been in Ukraine since 2014 at the latest, according to the New York Times. Even they have admitted the CIA was a big component in Ukraine in 2014. The idea that the CIA could, all the CIA has to do to get Ukraine to just do anything or stop anything is to say, hey, we're cutting off all our help. We're cutting off all our help in the war. Yep, that's it, done. And they would do anything because they can't operate without U.S. arms, CIA advice, CIA information. They can't operate at all. So the idea that the CIA just, oh God, I was grabbing his arms and telling him not to do it, and I was like, oh, but he's just too strong. He said we will blow up the pipeline, and they didn't. They just kept going. It's so stupid. It's so laughable. But this is the definition of a limited hangout. It also is how the U.S. does things by when they've been caught red-handed doing something like this or something. This is one of the largest, but something maybe smaller than this, but similar. They work on an investigation that takes years. It's been 2 years. It takes years to get done. And then when it finally gets done, it says, we made some mistakes, but it really wasn't our fault. And that's the limited hangout. To continue from this, they went ahead and did it anyway. Even if one wants to believe this, according to Thomas Fauci, even if one wants to believe the last part, that the CIA tried to stop them and couldn't, which is ridiculous. I'm not going to play to you all the clips of Biden and other officials, Blinken, Victoria Nuland, saying they were going to stop the pipeline, saying basically, don't worry, we will stop this pipeline. We have ways. Biden with his little smirk saying that we're going to stop the pipeline. I'm not going to play all those clips, but there's numerous clips of American officials saying, this pipeline's absolutely going to be blown up or stopped in one way or another. But even if one wants to believe that the CIA tried to stop them, it's still worth reflecting on the fact that the official story is now that Germany, for the past 2.5 years, has been sending tens of billions of euros and huge amounts of military machinery to the country that committed the worst act of industrial terrorism against Germany in history, resulting in a massive economic fallout in order to fight the country that built the pipeline in the first place. Did you follow all that? Germany is one of the biggest supporters of the proxy war in Ukraine. They've caved to everything the U.S. has wanted. They send arms to Ukraine, everything else, and they are one of the biggest supporters of this proxy war. This pipeline connected Russia to Germany. It was a massive infrastructure project and a massive energy project for both Russia and Germany, supplying Germany sent from Russia. Both of them, it would be a huge benefit to them. And that's why they spent billions of dollars and years producing it. Then the official story is now that Ukraine, heavily supported by Germany, blew up Germany's pipeline, because it was a pipeline shared venture between Russia and Germany, blew up Germany's pipeline, and Germany said, you know what? We're going to keep funding you every day to the tune of billions of dollars. And I was in Germany, I don't know what it was, a year and a half ago, during the proxy war. Had already been going for several months. And there were Ukraine flags on all the government buildings. And, they got upset if you even just spoke the words that you didn't support the proxy war. We were performing in a small theater, and 2 of the theaters we had booked pulled out after saying that we could perform there because they said, oh, no, we support the proxy war, so you can't perform here. Like, that's how aggressively Germany has gone for this just absolute shit show. So even the official story is insane for Germany. And it's insane for the United States. The idea that the United States has this proxy war, sends billions of dollars of weapons to this proxy war, and yet doesn't know what's going on. And when the pipeline was blown up, was like, what did who did it? We don't know who did the blowing of the upping. And also this proves that the CIA and our intelligence services were lying to us, because after the pipeline was blown up, the U.S. government said, we have no idea who did it, right? First they said, oh, Russia blew up their own pipeline. They said that for a while. Then they said, oh, I don't know, maybe it was some Ukrainian faction that we've never heard of. They went through all these various culprits. And now the official report from them is, oh, it was actually the Ukrainian government that tried to call it off but failed. That was all a lie. the whole "we don't know who did it" was a lie, because now this article from the Washington Post is saying the CIA absolutely knew it was going to happen and tried to stop it. If they tried to stop it, that means they knew it was going to happen. If they knew it was going to happen, that means they've been lying to us this whole time, because they did not tell us they knew it was going to happen. They also did not tell us they knew who did it. We're supposed to believe that, oh, yeah, that lie to the entire world was a lie. And this other lie about they don't know who did it and they didn't know what was going to happen, that was all a lie. Sure, those were all lies. But now we're telling the truth that the CIA wasn't involved, as Seymour Hersh's reporting showed. Got it. That the U.S. government wasn't involved. Got it. That's the one you're supposed to believe. This is one of the most amazing things when these fucking assholes say, "Oh, you need to believe we lied to you on A, B, and C, but you really need to believe we're not lying to you on D. You know, A, B, and C, absolutely. But when you get down to D, oh no, we are absolutely telling the truth. Absolutely." Shouldn't have gone with D, because then it sounds like something about dick, and that was not my intention. Here's another purpose of this. So they delay for a few years, get people to care a lot less about it. We're investigating. Sheriff covered up for a few days. Then they come out with a report saying, "Oh, it wasn't us. Oh, we tried to stop it. Oh, we didn't know who did it. Oh, it was Ukrainian oligarchs. Oh, come out with all that." That is then used to rewrite world history, because unfortunately, Wikipedia has become the history of at least the Western world. And it is in many ways, because most of the people across the United States, across a lot of the West, believe whatever Wikipedia says. And that's the reality. And sometimes it takes a few years, but eventually people just give in to what Wikipedia told them the history of the world was. And so now, because it was in the Wall Street Journal, that Wikipedia, the way their standards work, is you can always use Wall Street Journal as official source. That proves everything. Even though Wall Street Journal has been proven wrong about everything, according to Wikipedia, they are always right. Same with New York Times, same with Washington Post, same with CNN, etc. If I say about myself, "Hey, my Wikipedia entry is wrong," they go, "Sorry, we don't care that you said your Wikipedia entry is wrong. You got to get New York Times to say that." Then the New York Times writes a fake article about me, which was the one they wrote about me was utter bullshit and filled with mistruths. And that's all true, according to Wikipedia. Everything in that article is true, according to Wikipedia. This latest Wall Street Journal article does the same for Nord Stream. Hey, now we can just quote from Wall Street Journal, and that makes it reality. And Wikipedia now says July 2024. Well, this is before Wall Street Journal. This is Die Welt in the German outlet. Investigations by German and foreign authorities revealed that the sabotage was allegedly planned by a Ukrainian group prior to Russia's occupation of Crimea in 2014. So it was planned by Ukrainians years ago. August 14, 2024, now they're adding the new part. The Wall Street Journal reported that the sabotage was carried out by a small Ukrainian team led by Zelensky. The plan was also initially approved by Zelensky, according to the publication, who then unsuccessfully tried to call it off after the CIA learned of the plan and requested Zelensky to not proceed with the operation. Also, interesting fact that the CIA is admitting that they tell Zelensky what to do. Just slip that in there. Oh, I didn't realize the CIA is giving orders to Zelensky. Oh, yeah, they are, totally. They're actually admitting that now. They're just admitting it in a limited hangout to pretend they didn't blow up the Nord Stream pipeline. Anyway, those are the latest updates about this Nord Stream hilarity that continues.